You're watching Peace Country Presents on CJDC TV.
I think for myself and many of my artist friends, it's a response to nature. There's always so much happening out there in nature. Because of the dramatic seasons, it's a very dramatic place to live, you know. One day the trees are covered in leaves and it's like the sun's shining, and the next day the wind's blowing and it's snowing and all the leaves have gone, and it's like so dramatic. The changes are so dramatic, and I think that's one of the things. You know, the whole natural aspect of the country. The sky is amazing. My granddaughter sits in the back of the car, and sometimes I travel around with her, and she's got quite an eye, and she'll say, "Grandma, your puffy clouds are out again. Your puffy clouds are out again." And they're amazing, those summer puffy clouds, and the weather that comes in. All of a sudden, you know, we have this lovely blue sky and the sunshine, and then all of a sudden the weather comes in. I like weather. I like the wind. I know that's crazy, but I love the wind. I find it very invigorating. I mean, the kids, when they go out to recess at school, if it's a windy day, they come in and they're just full of that energy of the wind. I love that. And I love being by the Peace River and watching the water flow. And there's so much you can do here outside, you know. I feel as though there's an underground subconscious, we're not conscious of it, but like a river going through. And you know, like the graffiti artists, you know, they're up against the wall, as it were, you know, and they dip into this underground reservoir and they put up on the wall what needs to be said, right? And so I think really all artists do that. They dip into that. If they allow themselves to just really be quiet and really listen, they can dip into that underground reservoir and pick up things that are just theirs to pick up and put down on the paper for people to see and to get whatever they get out of it, you know, because everybody gets something different. Everybody has different tastes and everybody sees something different. But if you can be authentic and really put out on the paper what you're really dipping into and getting, I think it can sometimes be healing or a release or an aha moment or whatever. You know, I think we have a job to do. I think artists have a job to do, and I think we go through it not even realizing what our job is, you know, half the time. But that's what I see, you know, and I'm glad I'm retired so I can be quiet and dip into that reservoir and just try and get it out there and help other people do that. That's what gives me a lot of pleasure, a lot of inspiration. One of my lovely Dawson Creek Ravens won a first prize at the Federation of Canadian Artists in Vancouver. So it was a national show. So people from all over Canada entered the show, and it's juried, so eventually like 65 pieces got in, but it was juried before they got in. And then it was juried again for place, and I got first place. Very surprised. Very happy. It was called Works on Paper, so that the only thing was everything had to be on paper, right? So there's my little 6x9 print. First prize by the side. And then second prize is like enormous, and I'm thinking, wow. People do have anxiety about art. You know, they know they're creative. I think everybody's creative, whether it's problem solving or whatever it is. They know they're creative. I think we were created to be creative, and they want to express that somehow. And maybe they haven't even tried. But just making a mark on a piece of paper, you're making your mark. Nobody else can make a mark like that. And to turn that mark into an image in some way is the most exciting thing in the world.
Well, are you making anything yet? Mary was so much fun to spend the afternoon with, and her creativity was contagious. I can only imagine what one of her classes is like. That brings us to the end of this week's show. If you know of anybody I should feature here on a coming episode, get in touch. srobbins@astral.com is probably the easiest way. If you're on Facebook, you can head to the CJDC TV Facebook page, or if you're on Twitter, you can even tweet at CJDC TV. Coming up next is the CJDC TV News, but come back next week for more Peace Profiles. Until then, take care.